Obviously, Cam McGrone's been talked about a lot lately. Is he just kind of scratching the surface of how good he can be?
I think so. Cam is he is a talented guy. I know I said that in the summer, but he's really come on. I think he's done a great job with all the reps we've given him, so really excited about it.
When did you see him start coming on?
That's a great question. I think, at some point in the summer, through camp, he just kind of was taking steps little by little. But really, he's everything we've asked him to do to this point, he's been phenomenal.
How valuable is early playing time for a young linebacker, just in terms of seeing everything and getting a handle on that?
Yeah, I think a couple weeks ago, guys had asked that, or somebody had asked that. I think the reps he got, even in a Wisconsin game, were invaluable to him. So any work you get as a young guy, obviously, it's in terms of developing confidence, it's huge. So he's done a great job. He's taking a step every week. And like I said, from camp on, I think he's just gotten progressively better and better, incrementally.
Is there a difference kind of going between, you see him make those jumps in the summer and fall camp, and then he gets that time in games? Is there a difference there as far as you see them someone like him take a bigger step once they actually get that time in games?
Yeah, I think that's true of anybody, to be honest with you. Once you get in the game, the confidence that gives you is kind of immeasurable. He has, from the spring on, like I said, taken a step little by little each day. Coach Brown has done a tremendous job with him, just kind of piecing it together, giving him enough reps, to develop confidence, to develop that confidence. And with confidence, obviously comes clarity, and you're going to play faster. It's just, it really comes down to, I said this a couple weeks ago, you can have a good idea when guys are seeing it, because like I said, your eyes control the function of your body. They tell your feet what to do. And when guys' feet start playing fast, you got a pretty good idea as a coach that this guy is taking a step and he's kind of entering another level of play.
So when did you see that with Cam?
Like I said, I think that's just kind of happened incrementally over time. But I guess, watching him in the Wisconsin game as he went in at the end of the game, if you go back and watch, I thought he was, getting in there, making some plays, playing with some confidence. And I think just every week, like I said, he's gotten better and better. He's playing faster and faster. And on the practice field, too, to answer your question, for sure. Throughout practice, we've seen him take some steps.
What does it look like once Josh gets back then?
No, that's a good problem to have. I think we're back to the issue that it's not an issue. It's a great situation, in the summer when you have, like I said, we had that situation in the summer. Hey, this guy we can win with on Saturday, we can win with that guy on Saturday, we can win with that guy on Saturday. So never a bad thing to have a bunch of guys that can help you win on Saturday.
Cam also said last week in that Illinois game there was a lapse in the third quarter. And how do you look at that? How do you look at that second half? Do you focus more on the resolve that they had at the end or explaining how they had that lapse?
I think when you go back, you look at any game, you go back and you look at it and say, okay, was there an explosive play here? How do we fix it? And I don't think you can get into, any of the I don't know, I guess I'd say you kind of avoid the noise is the best way to say that. But you just focus on exactly what was the cause for some of those situations, that arose. And you come in and focus on how to get them better and eliminate that from ever happening again, And I think in every game, you're going to come away with some plays like that. I felt like there was maybe that happened. Our explosive plays there were not very many in that game, but they kind of came maybe, I think, within 2 drives there in the third quarter.
How do you explain? Is that a I don't want to say loss of interest, but is it a loss of focus at that point?
No, I think there was 2 plays were right there at the point of attack on 2 kind of 50-50 balls, if that makes sense. Down the field throws where we made some great plays on balls down the field, and then they made 1 or 2 plays during the third quarter. And then really that was it. We had a screen, I think, at one point, and that was really what we were addressing.
What's your assessment of Sean Clifford's season so far?
I think he's a very good player. I think they've done a good job developing him. He's done some really good stuff, throwing the ball, obviously, and made some plays with his feet as well. So, dually talented guy.
Have you been at Penn State for a whiteout, for a night game?
For a whiteout, I don't know that I've been there for a whiteout. Been there for a night game when I was at Rutgers. I played there, and then I'd been to a couple Penn State games as a young guy, going out there. I had a couple cousins that went there.
And what do you make of that environment?
I think all the environments in the Big Ten are, they're incredible. Wherever you go every weekend, and you come here to the big house, you go out there, you go wherever. It's a great opportunity, and it's really cool. Something you're always going to remember. We're excited about it. It's not we have to, it's we get to. We get to be involved in a showdown here on Saturday night. We're fired up about it. I'm sure they're fired up, and we're fired up.
How has the redshirt rule, about a year into it, I guess, affected your way of choosing whether to play freshmen early, and maybe give them shots that maybe they might not have had years prior?
I don't know. It really hasn't factored in a ton. I think the positive of it is you can save those games now, till at the end of the year, where if a guy comes on maybe in the last 4 games, you can get him some repetition, still keep his red shirt. That's where I think it's a positive.
Your brother, how's he handling becoming the head coach at Rutgers? Have you talked to him at all during this?
Yeah, we talk here and there. We're both kind of putting our head down and going to work every day, so we don't get to talk a ton, but I think he's just chipping away and trying to get better every day like we all are. So all in the same business here, and that's what we're trying to do. You got to be totally internally focused, and I'm sure he's doing that.
Do you want him to get the job?
I just want him to have success. What he's doing, like I said before, I jump on a grenade for my brother, so all my brothers and my sisters. So I'm not embarrassed to say that. I want him to do well, and I love him. So, like I said, I want him to do well.
How has his life, his workload changed, everything changed with this interim job?
I think anyone who's a football coach, I wouldn't know that. He'd probably be a better guy to ask. He would know better than me, obviously, but we all spend our fair share of time in the office or sleep in the office, whatever the heck it is. So, that's not lost on any of us. I probably get a little more sleep here because my son, he's on strike at home, so he ain't sleeping too good lately. He's in our room, so I probably get a little more hours locked sleeping if I stayed here myself.
He's on strike?
He's on strike, I think. Yeah, we got a work stoppage at home. He doesn't want to sleep, so I don't know. I don't know what to do with him.
How old is he?
He does his best impression of his mother at night. He just stays up and screams at me. So. But,
Probably deserve it.
Oh, no question. Yeah. I'm used to it. I definitely deserve it. He's just a few months. He was born May 5th. So, yeah, he's doing good.
How much do you see parallels between what Penn State's doing and what you see every day in practice with?
Quite a bit, I think, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot of similarity. They do a good job. They're very multiple. You got to be on top of everything, all 11 guys, every play. So it's kind of the new wave of option football, right? The opportunity to throw it and run it on every play. So it definitely makes you. There are similarities, and it makes you certainly everybody play accountable, and play with great eye discipline. Forces you to.
And that, I guess, carries over with the pre-snap motion, some of the stuff that they try to do,
Yeah, everybody's got to be on the same page, with that, whether you're playing man schemes, zone schemes, whatever you're doing, it really forces everybody to be totally locked in, and I think that's how you play great defense. Like I keep going back to that, and it's probably redundant, but your eyes, your feet, your hands finish. If your eyes are right, your feet are going to play fast, your hands are going to buy you time, and you can violently finish, win the rep. So always important, but certainly important this week.
Is it good to have, I guess, Gaddis as a resource, because of his experience?
I just think it's good. Yeah, it's good that, we've going against each other. I think it gives you some familiarity, moving forward from spring ball and all that. So. There's some similarities.
You mentioned Clifford as a runner. How big of a focus is that for your linebackers, and how important is it for them to kind of contain him in that regard?
No, I think he's hurt a lot of people with his feet, and done a good job with that. So that's definitely something that we're focused on, and trying to make sure we do a good job of. He's a really good player, and like I said, we got to be disciplined in our technique as well to stop him.
What
kind of drills do you do to work on like keeping people's eyes in like eye discipline, that kind of thing?
I think everything you do has to incorporate it personally. You know, from where you stand coaching the drill, so you can see their eyes, to, you know, literally what you're making them focus on in the drill work, if that makes sense, you know, where their eyes are located in the drill work. So I think that's paramount to every drill that you do, personally.
So less a specific drill and more just throughout?
Yes, yeah, throughout everything you do. You know, you're coaching that, honest to goodness, every play. You know, if it's going to be hard to cover a guy, you know, in man coverage, let's say, if I can't see him. You know, me looking at you, I got a better chance covering you as opposed to me turning my back. You know, I got no idea where you are. But in all honesty, I know as trivial as that sounds, it's such a big part of football, in my opinion.
How hard is it to get them to buy into that, or is it?
No, I think everybody's bought into it. I mean, I don't think anybody coaches that better than Don Brown, to be honest with you. He's the best I've ever been around for a lot of reasons. But he coaches, you know, eye discipline and toughness, accountability better than everybody else, in my opinion, that I've been around.
Can you give an example how?
Just, you know, on your reads, let's say you're playing linebacker, you know, what are you keying? You know, are you able to, are you keying the front, are you keying the backs, whatever it may be, whatever you're coaching in your scheme, are you getting the guys to do that? You know, because that's what's going to make them play faster. That's what makes a guy that is a 4.7 40 play, you know, look like he's running a 4.4 40 out there, and vice versa. You can take fast players and slow them up if they don't have great eye discipline. So that's obviously always a big part of what we do here, and I think it's essential to any defensive player to become a really good player.
Anything else for Coach Campanile?